Welcome back to day 4 of the ASUS RG Dreamleague. I have to say, controlling that crane, it's a lot of fun.
You made it look easy.
I did, apart from then, I was kind of stuttering.
I like the disco zoom. Yeah.
The disco zoom. Have you done it? Have you tried it?
No, I haven't had a go.
It's like a computer game.
Yeah, I had a shot of it in the last game. It's actually really difficult.
I mean, I'm great at computer games, so naturally,
Amazing.
I'm going to be a good cameraman.
Yeah. No, it's really fun to do, but I need some practice.
Well, I think you did great.
Thanks. We are going to have ourselves the first day that EG and Cloud9 are actually on location. They're here, they're ready, or at least for now only EG is ready because they're the first one to play. So I'm very excited to see what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
Of course, this Dreamleague couldn't exist without the sponsors, so thank you to ASUS and NVIDIA. And, well, anything you're particularly looking forward to today, Ted?
Well, I think it's going to shake the table up. I mean, we've seen some of the teams coming in, everyone's saying, oh, well, they've still got to play Cloud9, they've still got to play EG. So I think we're going to sort of settle into a more of a, natural state of affairs for what the table will actually look like, I think.
It's kind of a weird thing to do in a tournament. Like, all of a sudden, all the good teams come in so late. Like, so all the teams are kind of saying, okay,
we're doing
pretty...
the rest of the teams aren't good?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying
what Shane said.
The favorites.
Okay,
sorry.
yeah.
Quote unquote. Rest of the teams are bad.
Don't do what Bruno did to me yesterday. That was awful. No, but so later in the tournament, like the teams are saying, okay, yeah, we're doing pretty decent. We're even at the moment, and then all of a sudden, okay, we have to play EG and Cloud9 today. Like, it's going to be a hard day.
Yeah, of course, yesterday was a long day as well. We actually had 5 series then, and we have a highlight reel for you to see for the games that we saw yesterday. And
we talk over it.
Yeah, we talk over it. This is the first
This is where
game.
we talk, Shane.
Yeah, for ASC actually had 3 series yesterday, and this is their first one against Virtus.Pro.
The 5-man stolen ravage by
Yeah,
Jerax.
that was great.
Casually walking in, no blink tag or anything, you just win this fight really
It's Jerax on the Rubik.
Yeah.
Right?
4 anchors seem to favor Slark and Legion Commander like so heavily. Do you think banning them kind of heroes against them is definitely needed? Or?
I think banning Slark is definitely warranted against 4 anchors by now.
We know what Matumba Man's like by
He's
now,
a beast.
right?
He never stops going in.
He also plays really good on AM though, and it's like, can you deny him the heroes that he wants to play? Because Slark, for sure, they have really good impact, but then again, they also play really well with other heroes, and here we see kind of a ditch effort here, trying to dive in is VP, but...
That's kind of interesting. The Medusa actually had more intelligence than the OD. So it's actually maybe better to drain his mana than actually do damage to him.
I thought, what was interesting about Matumba Man's play is like he not only farmed, but he seemed to be everywhere getting kills. And one of the things that I think Wagger pointed out in one of the casts with 4ASC is that they ward really high up the map. They're sort of they want to know when you're leaving base. They don't really care where you are. They just know, okay, well, we know someone's left base. We know where they are. And Matumba Man will just run at them at that point. Fine. He found so many pickoffs.
This game was completely crazy. Against Tinker, Matumba Man played absolutely over-aggressive, some would say here. And his Ember just seemed to find kills everywhere, even killing Sing Sing's Tidehunter under a tower. And here he runs away from the Lifestealer Pycat, getting so close to killing him. This is really, really clutch play, but...
That Lifestealer, though. I mean, in the end, Storm Lifestealer game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping that we're going to see that combo more, because it was just, like, it was an action-packed game, the whole game, too.
Yeah, it's not only about just the 2 heroes in itself, it's more like the Storm being a naturally aggressive hero favors having lifestealers.
Yeah, it makes so much space for him on the map.
Yeah, exactly, because they try to use other heroes with the bomb as well, but it's the aggression that Storm brings to the table, and here is a really crazy good team fight again from Finstack, and there are fights here. Matumba Man finds a triple kill in the end here, diving after
Bulba on the Witch Doctor as well. He was positioning his ulti so well. There was a fight bottom where he was like hidden behind the trees, just like it was so good.
Yeah, I think what I like best was like that they don't just look for just single pickoffs, that they do well in the team fights as well. Like you get some lineups that are happier just ganking.
These were your games, right?
Yeah, this is and this was what was said was be the most one-sided game of the series, right?
Yeah, well, basically they did an offensive tri-lane with Shadow Shaman, and I think it was like 3 minutes into the game.
Do you know what Bulba said yesterday? Was it he said he didn't think it was an offensive tri-lane. He thought they were dodging, but that they
actually did it the day before though as well. So I'm thinking,
but he didn't think that time that there was an offensive tri-lane. That was what he thought anyway.
Yeah, they just got completely wrecked.
They tried to move around and rotate. It was
they were
really
so unleveled.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with all the games yesterday played, we also have an update for the standings for you. So let's see how everybody is doing so far and how everybody is doing without Cloud9 and EG having played any games so far. So we saw 4 anchors. They only have 2 games left, or 2 series left. Both are today, and one against EG, one's against Cloud9. So it's going to be tricky, but they are a team that is on top, and I believe that the calculation was done that they're going to be in the top 6 regardless how they do today.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so guaranteed to go to DreamHack.
I think they deserve that. I think the way they've played, and I think the individual performances as well.
I agree.
I think they deserve.
Does anyone know when, like, if you come first in the stage 2, do you get any?
Yeah. If you're first and second, you basically skip a whole bracket. So how the standings is done, like top 2, bottom 2, they are a spectator for the rest of the event. Sad things. Number 2 to number 6, they're going to be in a double elimination bracket with
3 to 6. Yeah.
3 to 6. My bad. Yeah, 3 to 6. They're going to be in a double elimination bracket with the 4 of them, and then the 2 that win that one, or the 2 that come out on top.
They don't have to go through that.
Well, the 2 that come out on the top of that double elimination bracket, they will face the top 2 of the group stages.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, this is today's schedule.
That's today's. Yep.
This is today indeed, and we are going to see, like we said, EG and Cloud9 both have 2 series, and the last 2 games, the last 2 series for 4ASC.
These should be some really good games. Actually.
Yeah, I am mostly curious. We saw 4ASC do really amazing. How can they, how are they going to do against the favorites, as Shane called them?
Because we have seen 4ASC play against everyone else at this stage, and we've seen them go up against Team Tinker and do a 1-1 in the series against them. So now seeing them pitch up against EG and Cloud9, I think they can do fairly well. But obviously, EG is probably the expected favorite of the entire group, and C9 possibly, almost as strong or even stronger, depending on if you're a C9 fanboy.
Do you think EG coming in so late, like, it's a big advantage for them because they get to sit back and they get to watch the first few games of the first 3 days?
Yeah, they can see what people are picking.
Exactly, and they're like, okay, we have these guys down. We know exactly what to do.
Well, EG has, of course, had ridiculous flights, so they were on flights or asleep during most of the games as well. So
that's true.
It's tricky as well. Like, we don't know how much they actually specifically prepared for the teams. Of course, we also like to hear the thoughts of other people that are not on the panel that didn't fit, but they're sitting on the couch, nice and relaxing. And of course, we have Draft School back as well because he is feeling better. So, Bruno, what's your thoughts on today?
We don't fit anywhere, Shiver. That's the thing.
You fit on the couch.
We're the misfits.
I think she actually just called us fat. We don't fit.
I think they can't call you fat. You're like literally almost as thin as Weapons.
If I turn sideways, I go invisible. It's my superpower.
That is true. How you doing, Lumi?
Okay.
Okay. Awake? Are you gonna get there? Are you a morning person, Lumi?
No. Actually, I am not a morning person until I start casting Dota.
How does... Okay, so...
What I'm trying to say is I wake up when there's a Dota game on.
I see.
And I have
That's
to
a
cast
lie,
it.
man. Because you just said you were watching my stream yesterday and you fell asleep.
Well,
That's like BM.
it's your stream.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Uncalled for.
Yeah. I have Draskell here as well. Draskell,
Yes.
you weren't here yesterday.
No, I wasn't.
For people who don't know, had a little bit of an accident with his hand. Like you can see his claw hand.
not
Doesn't
great.
look that bad,
Not from there.
but it is a door slam from a minivan.
Yes.
And you had to go to the hospital.
Yes.
At what time?
I left the house at 7 a.m.
Nice.
No. It wasn't nice. Because I went to wake Scriff.
Right.
Because I was like, maybe he can drive me over there. You know, he's Swedish. He'll help me navigate. And I woke him up and he's like, I'm dead. Like, I can't. I'm like, okay, fine. So I went on my own, took the bus in. Right? No, you take 2 buses. Like, you go to Rupston, and then there's another bus that goes to a hospital. I didn't know it was a student hospital. So basically, when I got there, and this is after I had walked into the pediatric department first because I can't read anything there. And then I was like, oh, I'm in the wrong spot. Then they had to show me where the emergency room was. So I get there, and like 5 people walk into the room that I'm in at the same time, and I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, we're students. And I'm like, oh, good.
Nice.
This is going to be fun. But, I mean, long story short, it's fine. Everything's fine. But it was an interesting experience.
Good. So now you're healthy.
Yes.
Lots of drugs to keep you just like without pain.
Toradol #1.
Excellent. You know what else keeps you without pain?
Dota.
Entertaining Dota.
Ah.
And with that, we're going into the draft between
That's
VP
such a terrible segue.
and EG. Sorry, I had production in my ear. Like, go to the draft. Go to the draft.
Of course, heading into a draft now. Thank you for sending it back to us. Draskell will be joining us for this game as well. And it is, of course, Evil Geniuses against Virtus.Pro. They have done the first 2 picks and bans on either side. And we see EG's, I'm not going to say patented, because a lot of teams play this anyway, but their trademark Razor that they play so much, it's going to be banned out in the second phase here. And EG are now sitting with Vengeful and Puck ready.
Why is Venge seeing such a spotlight this tournament? Like, we've nearly seen her in every single game.
Yeah, I just think that she's finally getting the love she deserves after that.
The buff?
Yeah, after the buff, really.
I feel as though she's one of those supports that's always been very good. And she's more of like a team fighter roamer than she was lane control. And I think a lot of people nowadays are... I mean, if you pick for static lanes, it's very obvious early on that that's what you're doing. But so many people open with Venge and Skye that if you pick static lanes against these heroes, I feel like you kind of just suffer. And you need to pick lanes that are just built to win, or you have equal roaming. So in that sense, I think it's just Venge and Skywrath are 2 of the best in the business when it comes
especially
to
if you have like an offlaner that can do a bit of damage early. Like if Venge just rotates down there very early, you can almost...
With Centaur, for example?
Yeah, or like we saw Batrider from Ace the other day as well. He's really good.
It's also a really nice support to pick to not give away what your laning phase could be. Because I still think Venge could function in like aggressive tri-lanes, it could function in some safe lanes, and you can dual roam. And by picking 1 and a Puck, you're not really giving away anything, you know?
Yeah, that's true. You are hiding, and if the enemy team, you know, give you Vengeful, you can always feel pretty safe to head into the late game as well, because that aura does play very nicely, and Vengeful swap is a really big spell later on in the game as well.
Yeah.
So static lanes, or like strong lanes, and then the power to go into late game in a decent way as well.
I like EG's draft. Like, they don't actually tell you anything. Like, they just say, okay, Puck, you can go pretty much anywhere you want.
Well, to be fair, VP is the same. Like, I would actually say that the emphasis on EG right now is to make sure that they can burst heroes like Brew, but since VP were able to get like Skye and Brew together, they're taking away an innate counter to the hero in itself. And
Puck is pretty good.
Yeah, he's okay, but I mean, obviously, like Skye's silence is actually longer, and it's more reliable damage output than a Puck. Like,
Do they pick Visage?
Actually does more.
They can, yeah. I think VP have to, or at least ban it.
Yeah, because else you end up giving away the Drow Ranger Visage combo with Vengeful and a Puck, which works really well in that strat as well. Like, I think you have to block pick it here as VP, or just mindset completely on how we're going to play against it, but it's extremely hard. I've talked to a lot of the pro players, and even if you play aggressively, you shut down the Drow Ranger's farm early on, she will hit level 11 sooner or later, and at that point, the damage she gives, because then her aura is starting to get higher level as well, the damage she gives to her team is just crazy, and the fights are really strong.
I've actually seen Fierce stream a few times, and he's been playing Invoker quite a lot. So maybe that's the game plan here. Because Invoker and Drow also have ridiculous synergy. So does Enigma, who EG favor quite heavily.
Yeah, and we saw, of course, Alliance play Drow Ranger with Invoker earlier, and they played with a Quaswex Invoker for control. And it worked out beautifully for them, and there it is. Very expected. The Visage picked up. Elder Titan is a decent pick here, but his natural order is not really needed against Drow Ranger, because if you just close distance to her, it's the same as sending natural order on her. Every hero has natural order against Drow Ranger, right?
She usually goes Blink Dagger as well, though, and Elder Titan's pretty good against Blink Daggers, because you can send the Spirit and cancel it out.
Yeah.
That is true. I think part of it is also, like, when you have a Blink Initiator like Brew, it's very common for heroes to stack up on the Brew to try to kill him before he splits, and I think in that way Elder Titan functions really well, because you can just Spirit on top of where the Brew is, and then stomp for him to make sure that he can either ulti or just throw an Earth Splitter his way. And if they are actually like focusing him that hard, there's a good chance that you're going to have pretty good success when you throw out an ability like that. So I think it's all right. I think it could be a little bit tough to lane. Like, obviously EG running 4 ranged with Drow
against 2 melee
is going to be kind of tough, but I think the Drow pick for EG was more of a lane winning thing than it was anything else, at least for now, because Puck is already high damage and he's very hard to deal with, but Brew is one of those heroes that even in a 1v1 against heroes like Puck, he'll still do okay. And I think just having Drow is like a little bit more emphasis on lane win.
It's quite likely to be an off-lane Puck, though.
You think so?
Yeah, I still think that they can definitely do that.
Okay.
I think EG is dire as well, so
you
they
think
can
they're
do
last picking
Roche
mid,
so
though?
early.
They're last picking mid, you say?
Yeah, they could.
Okay.
Because you don't really need to put the Puck mid. It's going to be a PA pick here by Virtus.Pro.
Sorry, Shane.
It's okay. It's okay. I forgive you. 1.
Everybody gets 1.
We saw the PA with Elder Titan yesterday as well. The damage is just insane. Like, because they have no like base armor with Elder Titan, and then PA can crit like so much higher. It's a nice synergy, especially with Skywrath as well with the Ancient Seal. So maybe they go for like a large magic nuke.
Do you expect that we're gonna see something that has been played a lot of times now in Dreamleague, the Centaur and Brewmaster combo? Are they gonna pick into the Centaur for offlane? I mean, he would struggle on the lane, but if you get the Blink Daggers up on Brewmaster and Cent, along with PA and Elder Titan, you could play extremely aggressively, and maybe that would work as a solution to what EG are doing.
I think it's actually a really good pick for both teams. Like, obviously for the reasons that you mentioned for VP, but against Brew's Centaur ulti, disengaging is insanely strong.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, he splits and you just run away, and then all of a sudden the split is wasted, and clearly the split is more important to like VP than what your Centaur ult would be, because as long as you avoid the engagement, you've pretty much come out on top, at least for a certain stage in the game.
Do you think VP are going to pick Centaur?
I think they both could, honestly.
Yeah.
And only have one ranged hero?
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily about if you have ranged or melee in the laning phase. ET has his own spam, and we can probably assume that that's going to be off lane.
Yeah.
PA is going to be safe lane, and unless EG want to run an aggressive tri-lane, which I suppose is kind of possible right now, given the heroes that they have, that would give the Centaur, if they picked it and a puck, 2 1v1s that I feel pretty confident that they would be, you know, comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, you would end up with 4 melee heroes, but it's also a type of melee that you have. I don't really even count Brewmaster as so much of a melee hero, because he blinks in, claps, and splits, which
kind of the same with
doesn't function so normally. And Elder Titan is not really the walk-in and punch. If he's a support position, he's just going to drop his spells from far anyway. So how they actually function in the end, I think it's fine drafting this many melees when it's these heroes.
So are they thinking about banning a jungler here, or?
well,
like,
there's a couple of things that they could do. Like, from VP's perspective, they could be assuming, yeah, okay, so they're thinking it's going to be greedy. So if it would be greedy, then I suppose...
Enigma works well with Drow.
Yeah.
And the push is ridiculous.
That would basically mean that puck would have to be mid if they're banning Enigma, right? Like, there's no other way I think
they could put Drow mid.
Unless they think that maybe the Enigma would be in a 1v1 lane, and then they would aggro try or something.
EG has done farming Visage in the past, so Drow mid wouldn't be that unheard of.
Yeah,
the Drow mid's a little... It's a little sketch. Like, against Skye, I think it's a lot harder to kill puck than it is Drow. Like, you could still kill the puck with a Skye, but it would be a lot harder to execute.
Is Brew not going to be mid?
No, but I'm saying, like, the Skye would roam.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right? Like, he would roam on the puck. And it would be like ET Skye, I guess, or ET offlane and then Skye +1 support.
Yeah, I personally really like the ban out on Enigma against EG. They are one of the teams that have shown the most proficiency with that hero. They played really well.
Size Enigma is crazy good.
You know, they have like a 71% win rate or something, like EG.
Well, EG has really high win rate on.
They're like
in general,
considered the best team in the Western scene
exactly.
right now, so yeah, their win rate's pretty up there. I mean, they have some signature heroes like PPD's Tree that's like 90-something win rate.
Wraith King on Zai is like 100%. 100%.
Right? Literally never lost a game. And there's the Invoker that you were talking about. So it is going to be offline puck.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they could switch up, but I don't see any reason for EG to change their lanes from the obvious. Just having Invoker and Puck being offlane, Invoker mid, and farming up the Drow on top lane feels like the safest and strongest way to run it. And you're never really that scared of aggressive tri-lanes when you have a Visage on your team. Despite having Drow Ranger who's not that strong in clash scenarios, I don't think Virtus.Pro are going to have an easy time taking it to.
I think VP picks Centaur. Because like their whole team is so weak, and so like if you go on Drow or if you go on Invoker like straight in his face, they're gonna struggle so hard, I think.
Yeah, I think the Centaur is a lot more attractive here now. But wow, Zeus.
That's some crazy pick right there.
It's some magic burst, I guess, coming out from VP, and I really feel as though with that pick,
ET Zeus, dude.
I mean, ET Zeus is very strong, and so is Skye. On top of that, like you can really just blow somebody up really fast. My question is, they're relying solely on the Brewmaster for initiation, and it's going to be into a team that has double silence, a swap, and cold snap. I mean, it seems really dangerous to me to rely on just him.
Yeah, exactly. Double silence built in, and then you never really know what the Invoker's going to do. He could just build control roll the same way Hani did as well, rushing that Orchid, and then you have another instant silence there as well.
It looks like that's the plan, because Fear is starting off with a Blades of Attack. He hasn't learned any orbs yet.
Normally the Quaswex build,
exactly, yeah.
With the face boots. If you go for Quas Exhort, it's more likely you're going to go for Power Treads or Basilius as your first items. And personally, I really like Urn as well. I think it's a strong
so funny. Like,
well, procs Cold Snap now too.
Exactly, yeah, that's the synergy.
Yeah. They used to do that way back, and then they changed it so it doesn't, and now it's back to doing it.
They did nerf the Cold Snap quite heavily, so you can't actually like last hit creeps that well with it anymore. That was kind of neat.
It was ridiculously strong, though.
Yeah.
Like
You could
one
cancel salves really easily with
Yeah,
it.
true.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't actually cancel salve anymore when you throw it, unless you're
A high level of
Yeah,
course.
high level of quas. And I'm not sure what level. Like you would have to be level 3 or 4 or something at least. At what point it doesn't really matter that much anymore.
So from the looks of things, we're just going to see some warding dropped here by EG. I would even say they don't necessarily have to play like 3 top, because even though Venge VS might be a pretty decent roaming combo, it kind of feels like if you just play it safe, get some pull experience and things like that, and make sure the Visage hits 6, you don't have to really make anything happen early, whereas I feel like VP kind of have some pressure on them to not just let the laning phase go too poorly, you know?
I'm just looking over to the Arizona Iced Out Bow cosmetic on Drow Ranger. It counts pretty much everything. Kills, the Frost Arrow kills, enemy silence, multi-hero silences, and silenced kills. Pretty funny. A gift from the spirits who sold his soul 6 times to grant Arteezy's wish. Very beautiful.
Jesus. I wish it actually had like a date on it, so like when you actually started using the items.
Yeah, so you could get an idea. But the problem is you can actually add gems with like 5,000 kills onto an item.
Oh, okay, so then it's kind of relevant.
It's pointless. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Such cheating.
Good to know.
The battle begins.
So very defensive ward in the middle lane here. Obviously fearing the gank on Zeus with the Venge.
Yeah. The
It's
Zeus
not really
isn't
too hard to kill him either.
You just have to wait till Fear gets like 3 or 4 and has a decent level of Cold Snap.
I actually think that Quaswex Invoker is one of the best heroes to actually put against the Zeus. In terms of like, you get like 2 or 3 in Quas, you have
get
a
the
magic
regen,
stick.
yeah.
You basically never have to back. And even when you get to like level 5-ish, which is when Zeus normally starts becoming a bit of a nuisance for his damage output.
Have you seen
can
PPD's
just
position
tornado
on bottom?
Yeah, he really wants to try to go for
He's
a kill here.
completely hidden. They haven't seen him
Yeah.
even though they walked by there, so it's a very nice little spot to stay hidden.
Oh, he's playing super aggressive. He's dead. That's first blood. Easy kill.
Nice.
That was so sneaky by PPD. That's
I mean,
a
it's
very good little
easy
spot.
to assume that the Venge would just be top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
or
spot,
mid.
even though he walked straight on top of that, like he walked by that passage, you still can't see straight in there unless you walk in to check it specifically. So that's probably a little hiding spot that more people are going to start using.
Yeah, it's nice.
I mean, this is kind of one of the risks that you run when you're playing like a 0 armor support. Even against a puck with just Drow Aura, you're going to be taking significant harass, like no matter what.
They both have 0 armor supports actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, on the side of EG, though, it's a lot easier for a puck VS, I think, to lane than it is for the Brewmaster to even lane in top. I think it's actually going to be like favored that EG are going to win 2 lanes pretty handedly. The only one that's even up for debate is probably mid. And
Yeah.
I don't think that Quaswex Invoker really loses to Zeus.
No, I don't think so, because his HP, as you said, is simply not going to go down enough. And when you have several points in Quas, you also have a very high base HP.
Yeah.
Like your HP
His
goes up so
strength.
high that Zeus can't really burst you. And it becomes very difficult.
At the same time though, it's very difficult to get rid of Zeus because of the Arc Lightning. He'll just spam it all day and get last hits with it.
Yes. So very important is how much can VP farm on their Phantom Assassin on that bottom lane. And already the lane is being contested quite a lot by EG. But they need to get her really farmed if they want to transition to mid-game properly.
Do you think PPD will venture bottom again, or is he done?
I don't really think there's much of a reason for him to go top. I mean, the pulls are being soaked by the Visage right now, and he kind of needs a level 6, I think, more than even PPD does. Since they see Brew top, they can assume that Sidoi is not going to have Blink Dagger for ages. So with no initiation, the only thing really to fear from the side of VP is, I guess, maybe Zeus's burst damage.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't really think that's going to be enough to make EG feel so pressured, at least for a while. I mean, until Sidoi gets Blink, it's like, how do you go? Universe, though, almost dropping in the bottom lane, gets a nice phase shift off with the Salve, going to keep himself alive. Salve will get cancelled, so he'll probably have to go back to base, but...
Bit of a mistake staying in vision there, because he could have run into a trees and just hid, so he doesn't lose his salve. But anyway, he does stay alive. That's the most important thing on this lane anyway. They should not be giving away kills to VP. As long as they don't die with the puck or Vengeful down there, they're going to win that lane.
Sidoi's actually not doing as bad as I thought he would be doing. He's like nearly level 3. At 3 minutes, it's not too bad, considering the...
Oh, Universe actually almost dropping again. Gets another phase shift. Are you kidding me? He's really
Oh, he's
alive. Okay,
dead.
this one I think is going to kill him. No, he goes to the orb to gain distance. Phase shift in 1.
It's so close.
Oh.
Did he jump a little bit too early?
I think he did, actually.
Yeah.
It was a really nice attempt, though. Like, he was half a second.
It was very close. And PPD is going to be happy to steal some of this experience now that he gets the solo lane after his teammate dies. But this is exactly what VP
Sweet
needs.
justice.
making the kills happen there in bottom lane. And they also have stacked their pull camp. So they're going to get a nice double camp pulled and reset the lane.
Whenever I play support and that happens, it's like there's so much pressure on you to get the last hits, because like these are the last hits you're getting for the next like ages, you know what I mean?
When you do the pull?
Yeah, no, when you're like in the bottom lane when Universe died.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, when PPD was alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Pastron on the Zeus here.
Yeah, it looks like he might want to try to kill.
Fear has Tornado,
he
he'd dispel it, he could dispel the haste.
It's level 1 Wex though.
Yeah, it's only a
really
little
short
baby
He's
tornado.
Try to bait him into the tornado, throws it out, misses on the Zeus.
Well,
But
this spells danger for the
it's
Visage.
Wow, G just wants blood. He just wants to go back in. The damage is not enough. Okay, there we go. The arc actually kills him, but
Hashtag not worth.
not worth it all.
Yeah.
Especially giving the kill to Fear.
The high level in Quas allowing him to kind of continuously stun the Zeus.
Yeah. Doing really well now is Fear on mid lane with his face boots and 700, 800 gold even at minute 4 against the Zeus. And Zeus is one of the worst heroes of the mid lane at denying. He has 0 denies against an Invoker, and, you know, rightly so. You can't deny against
You have to
any
attack so close, and your animation
Well, not only
is
is
pretty
it
weak.
Invoker, but he also has Drow Aura, who is going to be 6
top.
kind of soon. Yeah, looks like they want to try to kill Arteezy here. He's going to be taking quite a bit of damage. I don't think it's enough to kill, though. He
has
just
no
actually
point-
turns
yeah.
around. He's got triple Wraith Band. He just wants to slay.
6 accent build as Loda was going
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
PD coming in from the side as well. They're going to ignore Jottam. Can they actually get the stun off on
Nice.
Sadoy? Yes, they can. No TP for him.
The vision from Universe's Illusionary Orb gave sight.
Yeah.
That's done.
That's really good. Universe doesn't need to like stay on the bottom lane at all times. He just needs to try and find kills everywhere. As a puck, the most important thing is staying alive and maybe finding assists or kills. And you'll be happy.
I really think that BZZ needs to be extremely active in this game. I don't think
Yes.
like going for Battle Furies or anything silly like that is going to be good at all. He needs to be like in the fight straight away.
drums.
I've said that every game we had a PA, that I don't like the Battle Fury build into farming and going later on, because you can go so aggressive with just like Aquila and Helm of Dominator or Aquila and upgraded boots even. You can go on Clash. And I kind of agree. If you just wait out this game, you're gonna lose TG.
I'm interested to see what his item choice is going to be. I mean, there's still a scary amount of burst on the side of EG, so it kind of makes you want to go for like an early BKB almost. Because really, who on the team is supposed to absorb damage from you?
Yeah.
Zeus is not really a tank. Brew is kind of, but he's going to be split, so there's not really going to be much focus on him. And then you have a support Elder Titan. So
I think it's more about the chaos that Brewmaster can create. So if Brewmaster goes in first and you follow up with PA, you can kind of pick your targets.
Do you
Because if
always
you go into everyone, obviously without BKB you're gonna die.
always want to spin the Drow, do you? Because you do so much damage, or do you just go one Drow with PA and it's fine? Because of the way the ulti works, you know, if you get close to her, she doesn't have that much agility.
Well, someone needs to close distance to Drow always, and I guess it's easiest to do by having Brewmaster jump in and then PA taking whatever targets you
you
can get.
risk
Really.
the silence, though, if you jump in on Brew.
You do, for sure.
sometimes you might have to just go for an immediate split rather than like Earth or...
he doesn't necessarily need to get the clap off. He just needs to get in there.
Because when I was watching some Brews earlier in the competition, like they blink in and they try and split, but it takes so long for the animation that they can just get silenced nearly before it. Like.
If you're fast enough, you could probably still catch it, or more importantly, it's about vision, right? Like if you see the panic coming and you know the initiation's going to be there, it's still a lot easier to actually cancel it in that case. But
it's obviously not ideal to rely on a Brewmaster to jump in against silencers and close distance on them. But what really are your options? You have PA who can jump in first, but then she gets bursted down by all the damage on EG.
Yeah.
So she needs to be able to pick her targets. I think that's more important than having a safe person jumping in.
Okay. Sort of. Looks like Fear's going to go for the drums build.
I'm actually kind of surprised that he didn't just opt to go for Midas.
It's a long time since I've seen drums Invoker.
Well, it's definitely good for Quaswex because his role in the game is basically just
Run
be
around.
the control.
Yeah.
You know, be at every single fight, Tornado EMP, throw out a Cold Snap or two. It's not really huge demand from him. Nice steal from PPD on the room. Doing pretty good damage to Yol, actually. He's got 2 points into his wave. They might actually be able to kill Yol here.
Yeah, all the damage from Vengeful there. I mean,
His solo died to a Venge. Look at
Venge
that,
hitting for
98.
98.
98. It's so ridiculous, isn't it? Like 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and -4 armor as well with Wave of Terror top lane. Can they? Oh, okay. They cannot catch. Even TPing up and cancelling with Skywrath. Virtus.Pro stretching to find kills now, but struggling.
Well, on the bright side for them, Sadoy is only about a half a level behind Universe. which isn't too bad considering the circumstances. Granted, VP gave away a couple of kills. Their safe lane support got first blooded, which isn't ideal, but I think the split is going to be like the turning point for VP.
Well, the one thing about EG, if you just let them do what they're doing now, they're like one of the best teams in the world. They're just farming. Like they will literally use every single resource on the map. Like what's the... It's like 3.5k gold.
At 9 minutes with no tower.
Yeah. The last hits are doing really well.
Exactly, yeah.
So
farm everywhere.
Also the amount of denies you see is really impressive. So mid lane, the Invoker has 67 plus 64 damage with a Quas Invoker. Just because of the aura from Draw Ranger helping him out so much. I think she gives
ridiculous.
I think she gives 36 damage to everyone right now, which is plenty. Plenty of damage.
41.
41 actually. Oh,
It was always my favorite thing to play with a Drow on my team, because I pretty much never go Exort. I just love playing Quas Wex. I just like the style.
You just like running around invis?
Well, I mean, yeah, more or less. Oh, gee, could be in some trouble here. There's some Visage Birds behind, going for a stun. Nice silence on a PPD, though. Stops the Magic Missile. Tornado, though, from the river, from Fear, and this is going to be a free kill on G.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
The aggression and EG playing quite a bit together here. Gonna go for a stack with Drow Ranger, try and clear up the Ancients. There's a lot of gold to pick up, and even Visage can just help click away here. Because remember, the Familiars do get the damage here, so they deal a lot of damage as well.
Even without like dropping them, they're doing 50 damage, and they attack like, hey, is it
extremely fast?
2 times a second, like what?
Yeah, even more than 2. So yeah, extremely high damage output on this Ancient kill. And meanwhile, they're also letting Universe catch up a little bit on top lane, just trying to farm up his Blink Dagger. So I like this rotation.
I kind of feel like VP have put G on a hero that isn't enough impact for him. Like, Zeus is a good hero for being able to dish out damage in team fights, but I don't really feel like it's something that...
You can't solo game on him.
Yeah, you can't play the way that G normally plays, which is looking for kills. Like, it's not Queen of Pain or TA. Or
yeah, when I was watching
like
VP yesterday, like I was saying the same thing. Like, he needs like a Storm Spirit, a Puck, that kind of mobile... Like, TA is the same, you know what I mean? Like, just like, gets into the fight and just gets stuff done. Like, that's his kind of...
Mid lane very dangerous now for Zeus as the Familiars come in as well.
So there. The damage output is completely insane from EG.
Yeah, but I think that G playing the Zeus against Invoker in particular is a really hard matchup.
Oh, Stomp coming out. They want to go on this. Actually, Sleep hits on 2. Sodoi going for the double clap. Only hits on Fear. Silence stick. Should be dead.
Oh, he didn't.
Very dead.
I don't think his stick would have made much of a difference. He decided to keep it.
He was mega dead.
He was
He's actually opting to go for the Orchid after Drums, which I think is really good against the Brew for obvious reasons.
And
they might be able to get Zai as well.
PA going ham here, trying to fight a little bit. Can she crit on any dagger, anything? Just trying to chase down. Should get this kill. Yeah. Meanwhile, though, Puck does kill Elder Titan after he denies the tower. So, sort of worth for Yol.
Oh, Jottam looking for a kill here on Universe. There is no mana for an orb right now.
He has the silence, though, yeah.
Yeah, he has one Arcane Bolt and he has silence, but is anyone going to get close enough? Looks like G's there. Oh,
dear God.
Did that do 450 damage?
Can we have a check, Weapons?
That looked insane.
No, it's not working.
You have to set it for individual players if you're looking for
I can check it. That's fine.
That was insane. Very high.
And it's only level 2 as well, the seal. So imagine level 4 seal. Oh my God.
Actually, it would probably be 350 damage, not 450. Because base magic resist is 25%, so if it adds 25, it would just be like 350.
So EG actually got first. They got they won the coin toss and they picked Dire. So
he hit him for 354 damage with the bolts, which is plenty. Pretty much just negating the resistance.
Yeah.
Oh, they want to go on this Tornado, going after the high ground, going to barely miss on G. And they're still going to get an auto attack off.
There's the Aegis.
Popped here. Yeah, EMP's going out. Doesn't really make contact with much. G going to be able to retreat. Primal Split coming out from Sodoi. They want to try to go on BZZ. Magic Missiles there. Silence to follow it up coming out from RTZ. Universe in trouble now. Silence. They're all focusing him down. Swap from PPD and the Familiar Stun at the same time. Hitting 3. The Coil also hits. So Universe coming back in. They manage to take one down. Elder Titan the next to fall. And Jottam will be the third. Ultimate coming out from G picks the kill on Universe, but he's going to be trading his own life for this.
So close to killing off PPD.
Exchange.
So basically what happened there, Sodoi Brewmaster split and chased Fear like to the middle lane, basically to the water, and left his whole team just to fight on his own. Like when you have a Brewmaster in your team, you need to be in the mix, you know, tornadoing people. Like,
I don't think he put a single person in the air, did he?
No.
He kind of just ignored
no,
everything.
he chased Fear down to the end of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Single targeting that hard onto an Invoker, well, he's not the most important thing. And we talked about how Drow Ranger is the one that you need to get in on. And I believe that you remove her ulti just by having the Earth Panda close to her, or I don't know if the normal
I think it acts as a hero, right?
Yeah, because the Earth Panda is like a hero. Bottom lane,
Taking
BZZ.
so much damage.
No misses from Arteezy.
Well, he only has level 1 evasion, actually. He's opted to max blink strike, so.
The precision bow, though, it's not gonna miss.
That's true.
Do you like this build, going for Battle Fury in a game like this?
For the PA?
Yeah.
I really feel as though there's not one item that's going to give her enough of an impact in the beginning of the game to really like make it so she's going to fight well, you know? So maybe his contingency plan is just
farm.
I'm going to try to make it to Battle Fury, and then if I get BKB Basher afterwards, then I'll be an actual threat.
The thing I see happening, though, is Fear on Invoker. Just running around with Orchid, just picking you off all the time.
Well, actually, it's actually quite difficult for a Crossfox Invoker to kill PA, assuming the PA has max blur.
If you EMP Tornado, like with an Orchid on top, I think he's dead.
Yeah.
Well, HP-wise, if you get the full combo off, sure, he'll die, because he only has 700 health right now. But I'm saying if you're going around with like Ghost Walk on and you're just relying on Cold Snap and auto attacks and Orchid, you probably won't kill him.
Yeah.
Trying
to find Universe here on bottom is VP. They see him.
Oh, they want to turn it around. Coil onto G. Stomp's going to miss from Emil. Nice dodge by Universe, but he gets crit, bolted, and clapped at the same time. They're going to be able to get G in return.
Zai is laughing. He's over by the Ancients just after killing Zeus. Like.
Yeah.
Those birds, man.
Them birds doing work. They die, but he has only 15 seconds cooldown on them. And Invis Rune, along with Ghost Walk, coming in here from behind the Invoker and Vengeful.
Look at TZ.
Oh, man, they're actually TPing away. BZZ's going to be kind of stranded here.
Yeah, but that means they're alone.
Help. Oh, shot him. He is so dead. Oh, he realized
it's really cold.
The Ghost Walk, he's just a goner.
Suddenly really cold.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
so hard.
Yeah, and Vengeful has done a lot of work in this game, and that makes me really happy because whenever people mention star players of EG, PPD is the one that you kind of don't think about.
Oh,
like everyone else is the...
Wow. Holy crap.
Damage.
Sanji Nasha.
But yeah, this game 4-0 and Vengeful, really impressive play with all the ganks.
I mean, it's just the small things that PPD did, like in the beginning of the game, just being in that position, realizing that the Skywrath would be playing aggressively because you want to zone the offlaner as hard as you actually can, and it being dire side, so the wave is actually closer to the tower and you have a hiding spot. Like, thinking that far ahead is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Pretty ridiculously good, to be honest. So
it's like he has a crystal ball and he can see into the future or something like that.
He's a mystic, magician.
Yes. Is he an oracle?
Oh.
Too soon. Literally too soon.
Actually,
not in the game yet.
Arteezy missed a pull here on the Ancients because he maimed the big creep and it ended up blocking the pull, so he only gets one stack.
Damn you, Maim.
Damn you, Maim. Why did I buy the Sanj? Sanji Asha working against him. BZZ.
What's the logic behind the Sanji Asha in this game? He just wants to be mobile and farm loads? Is that the idea? Like he just wants to run around farming?
BZZ actually goes down to this combination, tries to get a kill, but... Well, Puck also goes down to the Brewmaster, along with everyone, pretty much. The logic behind it, well, I think it's just a decent item, to be honest. It gives you a lot of movement speed, which is always welcome when you're running around and farming this much.
It's 6% more than a Manta as well.
Yeah,
6% just for farming, then.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those items that kind of gives you the best of both worlds, gives you a bit of durability. Like, having 1,400 health on a Drow on Agi Treads isn't too bad at 17 minutes in. Actually, more than that when he goes to Strength, obviously, but... I think overall it's just one of those things where you don't really want to buy an early BKB on this hero, even though her damage is already pretty substantial.
Especially in this patch.
Yeah.
With the
you want to try to delay BKB as long as humanly possible now until you absolutely need
I try and get it for my last item. Like it's
In some games, obviously, you need to customize and get it faster, but...
And it's not as YOLO as like Mask of Madness where you would just instantly die to a Zeus CT combo, right? Where you just like pop it and just Zeus ult takes half your HP.
It's a good point.
Oh, he noticed the cold.
Run away from the temperature drop. But yeah, I like that he's staying high HP without having the Mask of Madness on and so on, because he's harder to gank, as you say.
VP still haven't bought Dust or Sentries.
I mean, I have a Zeus.
Okay, but if Zeus is Orchided, I'm dead.
I think the justification for it is when you're behind.
Yol, definitely dead here.
Oh, yeah. Cold Snap, Orchid.
Zeus!
Later.
Please!
Yeah. Would have been decent to have some centers out, but they're so starved in money. I mean, they're just falling behind that much. Already we see pretty much a 12,000 gold advantage going EG's way after
Holy
18
crap.
minutes. This is a humongous advantage.
So dominant, like.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, though, is like the way that VP drafted. They gave themselves basically one game plan, right? It's use the Brewmaster to be our initiator. If that doesn't work, our mid to late game is, I would say, vastly inferior to what EG have drafted.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you really deal with the damage output of their team? And we also have to consider that in this type of game, Drow is actually free to go straight MKB if RTZ feels like that's the item that he wants.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, no matter what your item progression is on PA,
Oh, Zeus.
you're just a goner. And speaking of, G is going to be joining his teammate.
Trying to get Visage on top lane, though, getting some return here.
They got him. They used everything. They used split. They need to, though. They need to get objectives.
That was extremely high commitment, so they're not going to get the actual objective in the end here,
No.
because there's no way they take the tower.
Fear has realized this, though. Like, they've noticed, so he's like, okay.
I mean, it really is a bummer for killing like A support, losing G in the process, and not even being able to kill a tier 1. Like, ideally, you're able to pressure something in a situation, but just because of the amount of farm that Fear has, like, he's 6-1 and 1 in 100 CS at 19 minutes.
Look at his damage right now.
Yeah, he hits tremendously hard, and this is important when you're playing a Drow strat. They have been playing aggressively, taking the fight to the enemy team,
Letting Drow
because
farm.
they can play 4v5 sort of, due to the high damage they have. Even Vengeful hits harder than the enemy carry. So at this stage, of course, he doesn't have crit, but even so, I mean, with the build that he has the full mech when it's delivered. With the power treads, he can just walk in and click people and deal pretty much the same damage output as a PA at this stage, which is completely insane. With his minus armor, possibly even more.
VP kind of have a... You can never underestimate... Oh, I
He'll be
think he's
alright.
fine, yeah.
Oh, maybe not the bolt from long range. He actually ground targeted
That's a huge kill.
That's
that was
big.
a very nice play by G, actually.
Yeah, RTZ does have his entire BKB on the courier, though. So, yes, you killed him, but he lost no gold.
Yeah, so the VP always have the potential to blow someone up with the Zeus Skyrat Elder Titan thing.
For sure.
Like, so you can't really be
That was
too
one
safe.
kill. One kill. 2,800 experience.
Yes.
2,800.
I mean, we have to like keep in mind 10,000 plus golden experience at 20 minutes in. You're gonna get a lot for killing people.
Look at it. It actually went up. The graph went up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big swing. I mean, you kill a level 15 hero 20 minutes into the game.
When like you have a level 9 Skyrat. Like.
Exactly. So, of course, it's massive. Bottom here, Universe going aggressive.
Ooh, nice play from VP.
A little bit too greedy on the farm there, Universe. He should have known that they wanted to take an objective after killing RTZ there, so probably shouldn't jaunt into the kill. Oh,
Well, they
the
didn't
creeps.
have any vision down there either. It was kind of like...
Yeah, but you have to feel it there, I think. Expect something.
I suppose it's fair. Nobody was farming mid or top, for that matter. So
Yeah, so-
I guess it was like a little bit risky.
Oh, it's gotten icy.
Fear just casually making people cold and walking away again.
The fear.
It's the I'm watching you.
Yeah, he puts the fear in them, yeah, the joke.
Damn.
I mean, the
Low-hanging
old
fruit.
version of Ghost Walk was actually significantly lower movement speed, so you couldn't really patrol the map like this. Like, imagine old Weaver, who had the little shades. I mean, that's pretty much what Fear is right now.
Yeah, yeah.
He's actually just gone like 7 years in the past and just turned into a Weaver shade.
Yeah, but with spells and high damage. Very decent.
And a silence.
And the ability to solo kill
Oh, they
pretty
had a
much any
silence.
hero.
No, that was later on. Not the Shades. That was the Nyx version.
Oh, yeah.
Not the Weaver. Oh, mid. This
that's
could be
right
too
on
much
the
for
side.
Fear, though.
He
They're
hits
ready
so
for this.
hard.
They blink in. They want to go
But
for
they've no
Fear.
dust.
There's no vision
Yeah.
either, so he's not going to be able to get the kill.
They baited that one
Okay, they
really
bought
well.
dust as well.
He was like, I'm just going to sit here. You guys stay in the trees. And we go.
Okay, you got a regen rune as well. Num num num.
I mean, it should be fairly apparent after that death that I don't think VP are going to be splitting up much anymore. I don't really think they have the luxury of doing that. Like, they
Yeah.
understand that Fear can solo kill pretty much anyone. And it's happened, I think, one too many times, and like on their account, like losing too many heroes. So now it's just like, okay, we need to stick all the
But
time.
the problem here is then Arteezy just running around with his little precision bow, like just split pushing the whole time.
Yeah.
And if you group up as 5, you have the Visage birds as well to worry about.
Yeah.
Like Zai isn't doing it yet, but he nearly has his Aghanims done.
Well, I'm not saying that 5-manning is going to be like the way that VP win. I'm just saying that's what they have to do.
Yeah, they're forced into the corner. Like.
Yeah, and Roshan is now spawned. Arteezy gonna check it and find out that he is there. And with the Sanyaasha, the minus armor and everything.
Look at the damage.
Yeah, Rosh is just crying. He gets he gets 0 auto attacks off. Roshan actually not doing anything.
Literally useless.
Reminds
dying
me
like
of
a
having
creep.
like a sigil and an enchantress, and a Roshan just never hits you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so BCC actually kind of ninja'd a lot of farm. You got them kills on Arteezy.
You will get the BKB.
Yeah, definitely.
But question is, how much can he make happen with it? And I think this decision by Zidoy to go Aghanims in this game is a mistake. I think he needs BKB himself. Because it's very likely that he jumps in and gets silenced.
Yeah.
And if he does, I don't see VP winning a team fight.
I almost think that even going the Aura build would have been better than this.
Yeah,
they're
like
going to catch out Fear again in top lane. Do they have any dust here? Yellow's going to throw out a Spirit, looking for a stomp, but Fear is just so freaking fast.
He has a deafening blast.
Yeah,
the
he's
race
going to get daggered here. Zidoy, continually working forward. He's going to eat a stomp. Should be dead here, I think.
Deafening blast?
Oh, dagger.
The crit.
The crit. 315.
Yeah, he should die there.
I like the positioning of BZZ there, though. It's very easy to like telegraph that you're going to go for the 2-hero tornado rather than the 1, and not standing in a straight line, just making sure that you could get the dagger off.
You got a kill on an enemy core, which is really important, but in the end, you lose 1,000 HP on your mid tower because of the split pushing Drow Ranger immediately, and it's just so hard to stop what EG are doing.
Yeah, I think this is just a game where EG actually got everything they wanted in the early lane. Gonna have to hold that thought, though. Primal Split coming out. Want to go for PPD. Skyrathel is going to be there as well. They find 1 kill on...
They should find 1 more here. PPD is definitely dead, so really good job catching out the 2 support heroes here. And maybe
they're doing
this. Yeah,
they're doing it.
VP are doing it. Can they turn this into a tower mid at least and then farm their stack? Maybe they can get some, you know, get the 3rd item up on PA.
It's going to be a bit worrisome if that PA gets like BKB and then like a Basher or a BKB and another item on top of that.
Yeah.
Because even though Fear is going MKB, it doesn't appear that Arteezy is interested in buying one and has just purchased an Ultimate Orb instead. So the only person who's going to have a reliable right-click against a fresh BKB PA is going to be Fear. Oh, gee, blinking forward. Eats a Tornado EMP, going to actually hit on 2. Fear going to be dropping here, though. Familiars, not enough to save him. They do end up getting Jodam in return. Universe, though, had to expend Coil to do so. See if they can find anything else. Yul going to get a nice stomp on at least 1. Universe actually phase shifted that one.
What do you think about going, like, minus armor on PA, like Desolator in this game?
I think it's a bit... It's really good for damage. Like, you would be able to burst insanely hard, like if you got a crit.
Yeah, I would really like to see the Vlads on Brewmaster, though. I can't agree with this Aghanims in this game at all, because no one else really affords... Well, maybe Elder Titan can sacrifice his Eul Scepter build, but he's not going to do that.
He looks like he wants it.
Yeah, he really wants that item.
He even bought the recipe when I said that. He's like, okay, right, just to confirm, I'm buying Euls.
But this also puts your PA in a spot where she has no lifesteal, and as you said, Andy, buying into a Basher is amazing on PA, but you're still going to end up losing your HP and not regaining it during the fights, which is going to be a downside against EG.
Yeah. I mean, eventually you probably want to get Dominator and Basher, transition to late game like Abyssal Satanic. But we have to assume that EG are probably going to try to end the game before that happens.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the Desolator will give you so much damage right now. Like, it's a cheap enough item to buy. Like, he only needs like 1.5k gold.
It would be amazing. It would be amazing. I would be happy to see a Desolator if they also had Devlads, but just going for it now, I almost think that the Basher is more needed.
Okay.
They don't really have a whole lot of lockdown, to be honest. Like, they're really relying on the
Oh, big fight gonna
start here. Coil on 2, silence on a Zidoy. Zeusalt comes out. Earth Splitter actually going to go in as well. BKB popped by the Drow. They managed to kill Fear almost right away, and VP seem to be doing quite well in this fight. Universe going to eat a silence. Aegis down on Arteezy as well. The turn is real. VP taking this team fight in a big way. First hit crit. They managed to take out Jodam, but that is it.
And they catch the Visage as well, holding him in place.
The birds, though, they're angry.
He's going to try to TP out here, but not going to happen. Not even close.
He's not getting away. And
He's
VP.
extremely tanky, but...
Wow, that has to be a massive swing after getting that much.
Show fight recap.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That is a really, really good fight for VP. And they were in the better position there. I think EG were not expecting the full 5.
Yeah.
Because why would they walk into that fight if they knew?
Basically died and used 1 spell. Like, he EMP'd and then he was dead. Like, just immediately. The Elder Titan Spirit, Earth Splitter, and I think Zeus, like, hit him at the same time, and he just exploded. Like, he didn't do a single thing.
It's kind of the weakness of doing this roaming around Ghostwalk thing. Like, you don't have an extra invoke ready, so you don't have, like, 3 spells to just throw at them really quickly.
It's also the fact that he's going for the Demon Edge build. Wants to get an MKB, of course, but I think if he had something like a 4-staff Blink Dagger along with his Orchid, which he could have had there in that fight if he wanted to, that could have saved him maybe, and at least made it so he has bigger impact. Because the damage is already there from the Drow Aura, in my opinion. So, of course...
I think he's worried about the the evasion, but like
A Hex, maybe?
On Brew, yeah, a Hex would have been maybe the better option. Like Brew has evasion and so does PA.
Well, I think the thought process is the MKB is the item progression that you want to have by the time PA gets the BKB.
Yeah.
And you're the only person on the team who's building towards it. So I actually kind of thought that Arteezy would do it. Like, just
he's
go
going
MKB
scatty. He's
after
just
SNY.
He's like, I just want the stats. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to chill and click creeps, and you guys are going to do all the work.
Yeah, I think this is actually a good build against everything but the PA.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter how much health you have if you get RNG'd.
Yeah,
Like
I'm not too impressed with this build against the PA, as you say, because look at what he can do in that last fight. He just could not click the PA. She close distance, and then he's standing there. Even having a 4-staff maybe on the Drow Ranger would make me really happy, or a Blink Dagger can also work out wonderfully.
The other thing about his items is against Elder Titan, building these huge stat items don't actually do that much for you, like armor-wise. So at the moment he has like 24 armor.
He actually has 0.
But yeah, the most of that is actually...
Everything is gone as soon as he gets
everything
close.
is gone.
Yeah,
so PA hits for like 1 billion.
That is really true.
I'm kind of wondering what his next item progression is going to be. Does he just go Butterfly after this? Or does he like...
No, you need so I think you could even...
On who?
On Drow.
Well, since they're not going Hex, he needs the MKB, I think. No one is anywhere
he seems
near.
to be going stat heavy, so if he's going for stats for Aura, then Butterfly is like a... That's stat
Ethereal
item,
Blade actually mightn't be too bad.
I think Aura doesn't do crap for you if you don't have anyone with a Hex. Like, you're just going to end up not doing anything to the PA. And in the end, she is the one really important hero that you need to kill.
Yeah, okay.
At least that's how I would approach this game.
Well,
PA almost has
just
super
said
basher.
get MKB to Arteezy, I think, because it's pretty easy to hear the players for us, but they're obviously wearing like soundproof headsets, so I think it's pretty apparent that...
Yeah, they're when the fancy helicopter ones.
Yeah. They definitely understand what needs to be done. And I think it's one of those situations where this is VP's time to actually like punish, right?
Yeah, they can win the game right now.
Right now, I would almost go as far as to say that they're a little bit stronger in the team fights.
They have the BKBs, and they have the Brewmaster ulti with Aghanims. They have Yules just finished on y'all, so he can like solo lock down someone for the entire fight.
Yeah, that is fair.
You know, with the Stomp Yules combo. Like. But again, EG are just kind of farming everywhere. They don't even mind.
If they can avoid some engagements and make sure that they don't give away like a Roshan or something like that, and they get double MKB, like on Arteezy and Fear, then I think it's actually fair to say that they could just come right back. And I mean, it sounds weird to say that they could come right back, but the fact that they've given away 3 fights in succession, the amount of money that they gave up and experience, especially to heroes like BZZ and the PA, it's like, it's absolutely game-changing.
And it's not just what they got from those fights, but it's what they get continuously from farming the entire map here as well. Because you give up control.
From birds.
Yeah, the bird's really dangerous, but they are going to go down here to some nice right clicks. He's going to resummon.
He's gone for the Abyssal, just finish it there.
Yeah.
Arteezy's going to have a hard time in these fights now.
Yeah,
that's honestly like the item that all of a sudden makes the PA absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Especially if he gets like even one good bash or one good crit. It's just, if the Elder Titan Spirit is out on heroes like Drow, for example, or anyone really for that matter, it's like they have a Bassi, I think, for armor, but they don't have it. No, they have Mech Armor Aura as well.
Yeah.
So that one's actually pretty good, but they don't have Vlad's and they don't have AC. So
I have a question about the BKB and the Elder Titan Aura. Like, how does that work? You still get Aura, don't you? But only BKB.
Yeah, you still get Aura.
It still applies.
Yeah.
It does not care about anything.
Yeah.
So props to EG for still keeping a pretty good control of the map here, despite giving up those team fights, because they know they don't want to fight right now. But Virtus.Pro are taking it to them, going into their jungle. They know they can pressure the enemy, because team fight wise, right now, Virtus.Pro is stronger. Roshan is up though.
yeah, VP know this too. You can see their aggressive positioning.
Yeah, and the drawing.
Look at the arrows.
They draw a line
They
towards
shall
Rosh.
not pass.
I really like the smoke. I mean, it might be a little bit obvious, but at the very least, they understand the priority of Roshan right now.
Yes, but no one is defending the bottom tower, so as you say, it becomes more and more obvious for every second that
put on
passes
the aura?
right now.
Like, if you see maybe 2 or 3 range creeps and a catapult, that
they
is
might
definitely.
catch Arteezy. He's got a BKB.
no.
Are they actually going to be able to take him out here? He's
the BKB
immediately
walk
going to
away.
pop it and just walk away. Looks like Universe is going to be fine too. So they've committed split to this. It might be, PPD. Definitely out of position here. Going to be dropped pretty quickly.
Yeah, EG though, they lose 1, but they also know that the enemy used up their Brewmaster split, so
Look
maybe
at
they want to
Fear and the
contest
birds
this.
mid.
Yeah, do they want to contest Roshan at all? After the split is gone?
Radiant's bottom tower.
I don't know. I really feel like VP could still just rush quite easily.
Uh-oh, Universe.
Like having a PA on your team, even without lifesteal, it's like you can actually just tank it forever. It's not really much that they're going to be able to do about it. And I think EG, they're like committing the familiars to the split push mid. They get a tier 2.
Invoker is coming in as well.
Yeah, he can be a nuisance here, but can he really do anything big? That's my question.
It's pretty hard to roach when the enemy is on too.
They've caught him out here. Mystic Flare is going to be there. He actually ends up getting phase shifted here for a little second, and he just blinks away. Oh, the Zeus ulti.
They continue to do Roshan. And this is a cheese Roshan as well.
RTZ does not care about this Roche. She doesn't want to go there. So in the end, it seems that EG are going to give this one up. And as you say, Cheese and AG is going the way of VP now. A great spot, really.
And there's the Vlads that we asked for.
I guess this is the lower risk approach that EG are doing, because they could probably have fought there with the Brewmaster split down, but it would not be an easy fight by any means. Instead, they're just going to play it safe and say, hey, we don't want to go for a 4v5 by any means. We're going to keep farming up and try to get stronger.
The longer the game goes on, though, EG will eventually come out on top. Unless, like, they just need control for PA.
It comes down to execution, though. Because if PA can delete one player, you know, the computer out the window kind of style, blinking of Abyssal Blade, then it's still very hard to say that they're going to be ahead in late game.
Yeah, I'm still worried, like, normally you would say that a dual core team like EG should have the advantage, and in terms of overall damage output, I think that they probably have a slight edge, but the ET is kind of a great equalizer. They're going to be able to catch out Zai here, and there's the crit.
Yeah.
All right, so the big thing to remember too is that if BZZ ends up dying, like he loses Aegis and dies again, the gold swing is going to kind of get ridiculous again, right?
Yeah.
He's worth so much right now to EG, and it's only going to take like one good base defense to kind of equalize.
Howard again bring him down twice though when he always has his team around him. I think it's not going to be an easy task to.
They almost have 2 BK or MKBs, which means that
I think Hex was always the right option. Like it doesn't even matter if you can hit PA, because he's going to kill you in 2 hits.
Yeah, like hexing the Brewmaster even.
Actually getting caught out here on top as well.
Oh wow.
He's going to be dropping. Sadoy looking for something mid, but not going to find anything. Universe able to blink to safety.
They lose bottom tower, but now EG have to go back and defend here. Really aggressive by VP to keep pressuring this hard while killing off Invoker on top. But they know how important he is.
BZZ is like...
They need to get out. Oh,
Boyle on
nice.
3. Universe buying time for his team to teleport react. Buyback straight away from Fear. RTZ teleports to the tower as well. Eats a boulder to the face, and they're not actually going to end up defending this at all. Spear goes in. They want to go right into RTZ. Pops the BKB, but it does nothing. He hits so hard. He was regular hitting for 400 damage.
Yeah. That was insane. Of course, no single armor on the Drow there as the ET was on him.
It's hilarious, isn't it?
The spirit is there.
So do you, maybe an AC or something like that would have been good on Drow? I don't even know. A 4-staff, as you said.
I'm not sold on this build overall. I just think that they're playing very weird. Not going for Hex, not going for the Blink Dagger and Drow. I really like what Alliance were doing instead when they played the very similar draft to what EG are sitting on. And yeah, I just think the Blink Dagger on Drow, so you never get caught out by these positionings. Because he got Stifling Daggered into Blink Dagger, or into Blink Strike, and just death. And that won't happen if you have a Blink.
I think a lot of it could also just be attributed to, I think EG got really overconfident during the mid game. Like Fear was walking around by himself for basically what, 10 minutes?
There was a point
he hadn't really done anything with the team for quite a while, and they were just like looking for solo kills for such a long time, well after VP had already adapted to the situation.
Yeah,
that they were just giving away kills for free.
Yeah, there was a point mid where Fear died, and then, as you said, they should have expected them to push bottom.
They've been bleeding a lot of kills overall, like people getting picked off everywhere, not even just Fear. Mid lane, Universe, using a little bit of a orb here. Maybe they can catch him, but they are revealed.
They have vision there.
Yeah. Okay.
Pause coming out. So we have a little bit of a break here, and we can talk about what PA is going to get next, because she's so rich.
I think it's MKB.
Yeah. I would expect that this is just a
golden sword of destiny.
Yeah, obviously Daedalus doesn't do much for you. You already have the best crit in the game. Why would you go for any other crit, really? Even though they stack, it's
not great.
You don't care. MKB would be really strong here. But I'm surprised that Virtus.Pro, we say that EG have been doing a lot of mistakes as well, but Virtus.Pro have really come together and just played phenomenally the second half of the game.
Do you think it's a lot to do with Elder Titan and his aura, like the aura?
I think the Zeus and ET are actually the major factors as to why they're still in the game. I think Sadoy has actually played, like, I usually expect Sadoy to do better than he's done this game, right?
Okay.
Like, I think he's underperformed a little bit, but I think between G and Yul, it's like their damage output is just completely insane. Like, when they killed Fear immediately in the team fight in the woods, that to me was like the really big turning point, because it wasn't just a pick anymore. It was taking a huge engagement, like killing 4 of EG and not really giving away anything in return.
Yeah.
That was pretty much when the entire game just swung, because prior to that point, VP could never farm. They had to go 5, and after that, EG just stopped their aggression. They could not, you know, contain the enemy anymore.
Well, Tornado EMP gonna land here on Sadoy. Burns a little bit of mana.
He has a lot of mana with that Aghanim's.
Yeah, I mean, it's 550 for a max Wex EMP, so it's going to take at least 2 of those minimum to put him to a low state of mana, and that's not including like arcane boots or stick charges. So VP fully committing to this top push. It's going to be a bit scary. Oh my god, instantly killed.
Was that one shot? Yeah.
Literally one shot.
No armor.
He actually pops the BKB before the Aegis.
He's gonna
Earth
go,
Player's going to be there. He wants to go on Arteezy. Abyssal Blade is there. Can
Where's
he get a crit? That's
there
the
is.
question.
Okay.
But it doesn't even matter. He just kills him with regular auto attacks.
There's no
GG is
buyback.
called.
He's dead, and GG. What a surprising turnover
amazing,
there.
to be honest.
Yeah, and a nice little touch was also that PA blinked in onto the creeps when Drow Ranger was standing next to him, because with BKB he cannot jump him. So he gets in there in the end, and just amazing how well VP managed to handle this. We talked about how G got shut down on mid lane, and then it goes towards you saying that he had the highest impact in the comeback, pretty much.
Yeah, the Zeus burst damage was pretty darn important, at least for turning the mid-game team fights, and I think it was just one too many picks into one really bad team fight, and it's really weird, like, because we're actually all walking around right now.
I don't know where you're going, Dad. Why did you leave Dad?
Sit over here.
Steel tie
It's fine.
by that time.
Everything's fine, but yeah, I think that EG had a pretty firm control of the game for probably the first 20 minutes, and then they kind of just let it go.
Yeah,
Let it go.
that is definitely true.
Hey, I've been told to wear Elsa here, so, you know, I can totally do that. I got the jewels in it and everything.
Nice.
But yeah, what a game 1. And what a, basically a promise to the rest of the games to come, because we didn't do predictions.
Yeah.
But would anybody have predicted this? Even after the draft?
Absolutely.
No.
Even after the draft?
No.
Definitely not.
Once you saw Drow Visage, I think.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
And they also displayed how strong it was in the beginning, but it came down to one big mistake. Walking in really close to with the Invoker, taking a fight where they should have known that VP were going to go as 5, because that's the only thing they could do at that point, and throwing away 4 deaths.
I don't think it was one mistake. There was a time when they were getting like 1 kill a minute, every minute.
Yeah,
Like,
but that was also, you know, right after that big 4-man death, everything just stopped and they kind of got picked off themselves. So I think if they wouldn't die with that big mistake, they would have been able to still keep the pressure up.
in the Radiant jungle. That was the other way around. VP died.
Yes.
Yeah. And so was that one? Like, I'm confused. You said it changed there.
Yes, it all changed when VP killed all of them in their
the
own jungle.
It was the other way around.
VP killed them in their
VP
jungle.
were in their own jungle and killed all of VG.
That was okay.
The other one, Shane.
The other one.
The other jungle.
The other jungle.
All right.
The one on the
Jungles, man.
bottom side. But yeah, I actually have a question, because I have to say I was also expecting after the draft to see EG take the game. When the Drow was picked, it was, or which one's picked first? Yeah, Drow was picked first. It was kind of obvious that there was also going to be a Visage.
Yeah. They picked ET instead.
They picked ET instead, and I wanted to hear your opinion, because like, was that like obviously was a good choice in the end? Like
the ET worked out, but I'm not sure if he worked out because VP had the better idea and they played it better, because they were at a point where I think you should lose. 14 minutes in, they already had some 11,000 gold advantage on EG, and I think that early having such a big advantage should almost be unthrowable, but it happened. So I think block picking Visage would still be a better choice.
Do you think it was to do with the style they played?
Itemization on EG was not ideal in this game. I think the MKB was greedy on Invoker. Not going Blink or Force Staff is something I don't really approve of.
Yeah.
And also the Sanchiasha into Skadi on Drow Ranger didn't really pay any dividends.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if they grouped up as 5, do you think it would have been better instead of doing the split pushing?
Definitely, I think so. But even so, they were not built to push his 5. They were built to sort of farm and
yeah, it was like our TZ was just there for damage.
Everyone was there for damage. Invoker was also trying to go the MKB and right-clicking build, so I was confused to what their overall plan was.
Nobody really went for the control.
Yeah, apart from just having Drow and Visage, I don't understand the entire idea.
Well, it worked. The players are taking a break. We'll be back soon with the second game of this 2-game series, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.